The CoglinCars.com pace car, that beautiful Chevrolet Camaro out of Columbus, Ohio, leading this field out of turns 3 and 4. Justin South starts P1 in the 43 machine. Dave Gentile Jr. from down the road in Joliet, Illinois, starts outside that front row. And they will get the 1 lap to go signal this time by Justin South in the 43, Dave Gentile Jr. in the 6. The Van Wieringen family in row number 2. Tristan Van Wieringen on the inside. Older sister Dominique Van Wieringen on the high side in the number 5. 29 of Anderson Bowen. The 8, John Hunter Nemechek. 33 of Jeff Cannon. 88 of Garrett Jones. Then you got the 28 of Jake Finney. The 67 of Todd Schmitz. The 21, Robbie Johnson. 7, David McManus. 04 of Phil Bozell. 104, Lindsey Katz. 27, Jeff Berg. The 1, Sterling Marlin. The 128, Jack Smith. That is your field. We are set to go 100 laps. Once again, a reminder, first 95 laps, caution flags will count. The last 5 laps must be run under green flag conditions. Champion Racing Association, powered by Jegs, has been around for the past 18 years. This is the 4th year for the Jegs CRA All-Stars Tour. Despite that, in all those 18 years, our first ever appearance here in the state of Wisconsin. We are honored and privileged to be a part of ARCA Fest 2014 here at the Milwaukee Mile. Chief Stunner Brian Duncan's got the green flag in hand, and we are racing! Justin South with the advantage going into turns 1 and 2. Dave Gentile Jr. drops back into second spot. Tristan Van Wieringen third. Boyd Machine Company fast qualifier. Anderson Bowen already up the 4th spot in the 29 machine. Here comes John Hunter Nemechek as well in the number 8. He tries to go to the inside of the number 5 of Dominique Van Wieringen. Coming out of turn number 4, leading lap number 1 will be Leeds, Alabama traveler Justin South in the 43. Field now starting to sort itself out just a bit. Dave Gentile Jr. running in the 2nd spot in the number 6. 16-year-old rookie Tristan Van Wieringen running in the 3rd spot in the 81 machine. A trio of 16-year-olds, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Tristan Van Wieringen in the 81, Anderson Bowen in the 29, John Hunter Nemechek in the 8. Dominique Van Wieringen's been shuffled back to 6th spot, the number 5 machine, Jeff Cannon. In the 33 is 7th. He started 9th. The youngest driver in the field, 14-year-old Garrett Jones in the number 88 machine. He is running in the 5th spot. Back in the field, Robbie Johnson is 9th. The 7 of David McManus rounding out the top 10. Phil Bozell scheduled to start P1. Started in the back of the field. Has already worked his way up to 11th spot. But up front, Justin South continues to lead. The number 43. A quadrant in the cars running 2nd through 5th. Dave Gentile Jr. in the 6th. Tristan Van Wieringen in the 81. Anderson Bowen in the 29. John Hunter Nemechek in the 8. Now Dominique Van Wieringen in the number 5, trying to make it a 5-car battle, but gives 2nd spot to Dominique's younger brother, 16-year-old Tristan Van Wieringen now. Worked his way up into the 2nd spot in the 81 machine, then 3 wide, coming out of turn number 4. Whoa, we got trouble in turns 1 and 2. Dave Gentile Jr. and Anderson Bowen get together. Caution flag will fly. Three wide going into turns 1 and 2. Everyone trying to check up. Anderson Bowen and Dave Gentile Jr. making contact in turns 1 and 2. Gentile driver's side into the turns 1 and 2 wall, bringing out the first caution flag of the afternoon. So the CoglinCars.com pace car, that beautiful Chevrolet Camaro, will pull on to pit road. It's in the hands of Justin South in the number 43. Flanking his outside, 16-year-old rookie Tristan Van Wieringen out of Amherstburg, Ontario, Canada. As they will lead the field out of turns 3 and 4. They'll come down the long front stretch. Chief Stunner Brian Duncan's got the green flag in hand, and we're back underway. Justin South gets out in their lead. Here comes John Hunter Nemechek in the number 8 machine. He gets by Van Wieringen for the second spot. He'll challenge South for that lead as they go down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. Justin South leads John Hunter Nemechek and Tristan Van Wieringen. They come out of turn number 4. They will complete lap number 9 at the stripe. It is Justin South by about a fender. But Nemechek with all kinds of momentum to the inside. He'll take that lead going into turns 1 and 2. '16-year-old John Hunter Nemechek now out in front. The number 8 machine shuffling Justin South into the second spot. Tristan Van Wieringen third. The man on the move is Jeff Cannon, the number 33 machine. He started 9th. He has worked his way up into the 4th spot. Gets by the number 5 of Dominique Van Wieringen. 6th spot, the 14-year-old Garrett Jones in the 88. And from the rear of the field, Phil Bozell, scheduled to start P1, has worked his way back into the 7th spot. 21 of Robbie Johnson comes down pit road. Tough break for the bus stop in machine from Birch Run, Michigan. Up front, it is John Hunter Nemechek. Continues to lead. The number 8, Justin South is second. Tristan Van Wieringen third. Jeff Cannon is fourth. Dominique Van Wieringen is fifth. 14-year-old Garrett Jones is sixth. Phil Bozell seventh in the 04. Jack Smith, despite some pit stops, charging through the field. He's up to the 8th spot in the 128. David McManus, after a practice crash yesterday afternoon, is into the 9th spot, the 7, and Anderson Bowen from the rear of the field is back into the top 10. Jeff Berg pulls on the pit road, the number 27. Tough break for the Louisville, Kentucky driver. Robbie Johnson, right rear flat tire on that bus stop in Ford. Tough break for Johnson. He'll lose a lap for sure. So Johnson going to come back on to the racetrack, hoping to possibly get the free pass should another caution fly. In the meantime, John Hunter Nemechek continuing to show the way. Battle for second now. Tristan Van Wieringen to the inside of Justin South. That is for the second spot. And gives second spot to the 16-year-old Canadian rookie from Amherstburg, Ontario, Canada. Tristan Van Wieringen back into the second spot. In the meantime, up front, it is John Hunter Nemechek showing the way, the number 8. Van Wieringen now to second. Justin South in a Van Wieringen sandwich. In front of him is Tristan Van Wieringen. Behind him, older sister Dominique Van Wieringen in the number 5. Jeff Berg back at the track. He goes another lap down in the number 27 machine. Robbie Johnson did lose 2 laps on that pit stop. And we've got trouble over in turn number 4. Jeff Berg has come to rest, bringing out the caution flag. Berg able to make it down onto pit road to the number 27 machine. Tough break for the driver, oldest driver in the field, 59 years old, from Louisville, Kentucky. So it's John Hunter Nemechek in first, Tristan Van Wieringen in second, Justin South is third, Dominique Van Wieringen is fourth, Garrett Jones rounding out the top 5 in the number 88. Then you get the 33 of Jeff Cannon riding in sixth. Phil Bozell, supposed to start P1, had to go to the back from pulling out of impound earlier today, has clawed his way up to the 7th spot. Jack Smith, despite several pit stops, is back up to 8th. Boeing Machine Company fast qualifier Anderson Bowen also come from the back. He is in 9th. David McManus rounding out the top 10 in the number 7. Robbie Johnson getting the free pass, which is similar to the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Lucky Dog rule. First car 1 lap or more down, not the cause of the caution flag, gets a free pass or 1 lap back. In this case, Robbie Johnson was 2 laps down. He is now 1 lap down, courtesy of getting the free pass. On turn number 4, green flag is out. Lap number 19, we're back underway. Garrett Jones, the 14-year-old from West Palm Beach, Florida, catching the Van Wieringen siblings napping. Gets by both Dominique and Tristan. Takes over the third spot, the number 88 machine. So it's 16-year-old John Hunter Nemechek leads him on a turn number 4 to complete lap number 20. We are 1/5 of the way through the Jags 100. Mooresville, North Carolina's John Hunter Nemechek is your leader. Justin South in second. 14-year-old Garrett Jones now on the podium. He's running in the third spot, the number 88 machine. Tristan Van Wieringen, his fourth older sister, Dominique Van Wieringen, rounding up the top 5 in the number 5. Jeff Cannon is 6th. Jack Smith has worked to 7th. Anderson Bowen is up to 8th. Phil Bozell to 9th. David McManus rounding out the top 10. Battle now for the third spot. Tristan Van Wieringen looking to the inside of Garrett Jones. Jones with all kinds of momentum coming off of turn number 2 as he maintains that third spot. Back in the field for 7th, Anderson Bowen to the inside. Takes over that 7th spot from Jack Smith. Smith drifts high into 3 and 4. That's going to allow Phil Bozell to open the gap. Coming out of 4. Battle continues for 3rd. Tristan Van Wieringen to complete the pass for the 3rd spot, but Garrett Jones recoils coming out of turn number 2. He'll try to battle back for that 3rd spot, the number 88 machine. Dominique Van Wieringen right there as well. 16 years old, 14 years old, and 18 years old, running 3rd through 5th. In the meantime, out in front, it is John Hunter Nemechek continuing to show the way in the number 8 machine. Nemechek, the 16-year-old from Mooresville, North Carolina, was the winner of Speedfest 2014 way back in January of this year down at Watermelon Capital Speedway in Cordele, Georgia. Nemechek to complete lap number 24 this time by. Justin South riding in the 2nd spot. Tristan Van Wieringen 3rd. Battle for 4th now. Dominique Van Wieringen to the inside of Garrett Jones. Jones fighting back though on the high side. They better decide in a hurry because here comes Boeing Machine Fast qualifier Anderson Bowen in the number 29. Bowen gets by Jeff Cannon. That is for the 6th spot. He'll look to challenge Garrett Jones, who's currently in 5th. 25 laps completed. 75 laps to go this time by. Battle about to brew for the 2nd spot. Justin South currently holds on to the runner-up spot, but here comes Tristan Van Wieringen, makes the pass, drives it deep into turns 3 and 4. The 16-year-old rookie from Amherstburg, Ontario, Canada, now in the 2nd spot, the number 81. Van Wieringen now in 2nd spot. He's going to get the fishing pole out a little bit early in this race. Going to try to reel in the number 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. A pair of 16-year-olds running 1st and 2nd. Anderson Bowen, your Boeing Machine Company fast qualifier. The number 29 has caught the back bumper of Garrett Jones in the 88 machine. Bowen from the rear of the field now looking to get back into the top 5, the number 29. Jones trying to hold him off in the 88 machine. Jones running in 5th, Bowen in 6th. Back in the field, the 33 of Jeff Cannon is 7th. Battle is for 8th. The 128 of Jack Smith trying to fight off the 04 of Phil Bozell. Rounding up the top 10 is the number 7 of David McManus. Bowen to the inside of Jones, looking to complete the pass, going into turns 1 and 2, and he'll do it. The Boeing Machine Company fast qualifier, Anderson Bowen, back into the top 5, the number 29 machine. in front of Bowen. Battle for the third spot. Here comes Dominique Van Wieringen. She'll take over the third spot. The Van Wieringen siblings back into second and third. Younger brother Tristan in second. Older sister Dominique Van Wieringen now in third. Justin South shuffled back to fourth in the 43. Here comes Anderson Bowen, your Boy Machine Company fast qualifier, the number 29. Garrett Jones shuffled back to sixth. Jeff Cannon is seventh. Jack Smith eighth. Phil Bozell ninth. And the seventh, David McManus rounding out the top 10. This time by 30 laps completed. 30 laps are in the books. 20 to go to the break. 70 to go overall in the Jegs 100 for the Jegs CRA All-Stars Tour. Tristan Van Wieringen is closing the gap in the number 81 machine. The lead that last time around was over 3 seconds. This time by, Van Wieringen has closed the gap considerably. Less than a second for Van Wieringen as he trails down John Hunter Nemechek. And Tristan better hurry. Here comes older sister Dominique Van Wieringen in the number 5 machine, trying to reel in her younger brother Tristan Van Wieringen to the 81. This time by lap 32 in the books. Anderson Bowen has caught and passed the 43 of Justin South. Now your Boy Machine Company fast qualifier. Anderson Bowen has worked his way into the fourth spot. He'll try to chase down the Van Wieringens, who are second and third, who are both trying to chase down your race leader, the number 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. .33 laps are in the books. 67 laps to go. John Hunter Nemechek continuing to show the way. Tristan Van Wieringen second in the 81. Dominique Van Wieringen third in the number 5. Anderson Bowen fourth in the 29. Justin South rounding out the top 5 in the 43. The 88 of Garrett Jones is 6th. The 33 Jeff Cannon is 7th. Jack Smith and Phil Bozell in a dogfight for the 8th and 9th spots. They're side by side coming out of turn number 4. That is for 8th and 9th. Just in front of them and behind them, the number 7, David McManus, rounding out the top 10. Tristan Van Wieringen continues to close the gap on race leader John Hunter Nemechek. This time by 35 laps completed, 65 laps to go. The lead still less than a second for Nemechek over Van Wieringen. Battle continues to rage on for that 8th spot. Phil Bozell in the 04. Jack Smith in the 128 continue to duke it out. And that has allowed the number 7 of David McManus to close the gap as well, making it a 3-car battle from 8th through 10th. Field now well spread out around this Milwaukee mile as the laps continue to click off. 36 laps completed. That time by will make it 37 laps. This time by 37 laps completed as John Hunter Nemechek crosses the stripe. 13 laps to go until the 10-minute break. 63 laps to go overall in the Jegs 100. Some of the competitors perhaps biding their time, waiting for that 10-minute break to be able to make adjustments. Others could be going all out, like the Van Wieringens, trying to chase down John Hunter Nemechek in the number 8 machine. This time by 38 laps completed. trouble in turn number 2. The 104 of Lindsay Katz, our second female competitor, has turned it around, bringing out the caution flag. So John Hunter Nemechek in the number 8. Tristan Van Wieringen in the 81 will lead the field out of turns 3 and 4. The CoglinCars.com pace car pulls onto pit road. Chief Starter Brian Duncan's got the green flag in the air, and we're back underway. And Tristan Van Wieringen with just an awful restart that time by older sister Dominique gets by. The 43 Justin South gets by. Anderson Bowen had nowhere to go. Unfortunately, was behind Tristan. Tristan Van Wieringen slips back in the 4th spot. Older sister Dominique Van Wieringen up into 2nd, the number 5. But here comes Tristan back to the inside of Justin South. He'll retake the 3rd spot. Justin South trying to fight back on the high side. So is Anderson Bowen trying to figure out which way to go in the number 29. 42 laps in the books, 8 laps to go into the break. And we got trouble once again over in turns 1 and 2. Lindsay Katz turns it around. Jeff Berg and Robbie Johnson spinning to avoid, bringing out the caution one more time. Lindsay Katz was the one that went around. The 104, the 21 of Robbie Johnson, the 27 of Jeff Berg getting together. The CoglinCars.com pace car. That beautiful Chevrolet Camaro will pull on the pit road this time by. It's in the hands of the number 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. The number 5 of Dominique Van Wieringen to lead him on turns 3 and 4. Van Wieringen trying to keep pace with Nemechek as the green flag comes out. We're back underway. Van Wieringen staying right with Nemechek as they go into turns 1 and 2. Tristan Van Wieringen right there as well in the 81. So is Justin South in the 43. John Hunter Nemechek trying to hang on. They'll go into the break. They'll complete lap 47 this time by. Lindsay Katz made it out before getting put a lap down. 47 laps in the books. 3 laps to go into the break. Justin South got by Tristan Van Wieringen. That is for the 3rd spot. Van Wieringen's got a bumper full of Anderson Bowen, the 29, as well as the 33 of Jeff Cannon. John Hunter Nemechek continues to lead. 2 laps to go until the break this time by. Dominique Van Wieringen running in the 2nd spot. Justin South is 3rd. Tristan Van Wieringen, Anderson Bowen, your top 5. Jeff Cannon is 6th. Phil Bozell 7th. Jake Finney 8th. Jack Smith 9th. David McManus is 10th. Lindsay Katz trying to stay on the lead lap going into the break. They'll get the white flag. 1 lap to go until the 10-minute break. Tristan Van Wieringen looking to the inside of Justin South, trying to get into that 3rd spot. They go into turns 1 and 2. Anderson Bowen right there as well, the number 29, but South with some momentum off the high side. Coming out of turn number 4, this is lap 50. We are halfway home. 50 in, 50 to go. They'll go into the 10-minute break. And John Hunter Nemechek in the number 8 machine will pick up the $100 Proc certificate for being the halfway leader of today's JEGS 100, courtesy of DTF's drivetrain specialist out of Sterling Heights, Michigan. John Hunter Nemechek, the winner of the DTF's drivetrain specialist halfway leader award. We are 50 laps in, 50 laps to go in the JEGS 100. Pace Pace car pulls on to pit road. It's in the hands of John Hunter Nemechek. Dominic Van Weergen lead him on turn 4. Green flag is out. We're back underway. And once again, the Van Weergens slow on those restarts. Van Weergen slipping back to 4th spot. Justin South moves up into 2nd. Anderson Bowen to 3rd. Dominic Van Weergen trying to hang on in 4th. Just about every restart for the Van Weergen siblings has been awful for them, but Van Weergen charges back on the high side. The number 5 machine. Dominic Van Weergen back in the 3rd spot as John Hunter Nemechek leads the way. Justin South is 2nd. Dominic Van Weergen is back to 3rd. Anderson Bowen is 4th. Tristan Van Weergen is 5th. Jeff Cannon 6th. Jack Smith 7th. David McManus starting to feel racy. He's up in the 8th spot, the number 7. Phil Bozell shuffled back to 9. Jake Finney in the top 10. Second through 5th now in a battle. Dominic Van Weergen charging back to the inside of Justin South. She'll retake that 2nd spot, and now she'll try to re-challenge the number 8 of John Hunter Nemechek, who has built up about a 2.5 lead in a very short amount of time. Anderson Bowen to the inside of Justin South. Give him the 3rd spot. Tristan Van Weergen to the inside. He'll try for the 4th spot as well, but South still strong on the high side, re-challenging Anderson Bowen. Bowen to 3rd. Justin South is 4th. Here comes Tristan Van Weergen once again to the 4th spot, the 81 machine. Justin South trying to fight back on the high side. He lets him go. Tristan Van Weergen now back in the 4th. Jeff Cannon looking to join the battle as well in the number 33. .54 laps completed that time by. 46 laps to go. It is John Hunter Nemechek continuing to lead the number 8 machine. Dominic Van Weergen 2nd spot in the number 5. Anderson Bowen is 3rd, the number 29. As John Hunter Nemechek continuing to show the way. Dominic Van Weergen trying to regroup from that last restart, where saw her lose a bunch of positions. She has got back into the 2nd spot, but has got a lot of real estate to make up to catch up to the number 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. Dominic Van Weergen slowly but surely closing the gap. It was a 2.5 differential between her and Nemechek. That has been cut down in half to 3/4 of a second. Van Weergen has got the fishing pole out, trying to reel in the number 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. This time by 57 laps completed, 43 to go. Back in the field, battle emerging for the 5th spot. The 43 of Justin South trying to hold off the 33 of Jeff Cannon. Dominic Van Weergen trying to hold off Anderson Bowen for that 2nd spot. Bowen in a Van Weergen sandwich. Dominic in 2nd. Tristan in 4th. Justin South is 5th. Jeff Cannon is 6th. Back in the field, Jack Smith is 7th. David McManus is 8th. Phil Bozell is 9th. And rounding up the top 10 after going 2 laps down due to a green flag pit stop, Robbie Johnson has clawed his way back in the top 10. Anderson Bowen looking for a way around. The number 5 of Dominique Van Wieringen as they go into turns 3 and 4. John Hunter Nemechek safely in front of your battle between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. This time by 60 laps completed, 40 laps to go. We are 3/5 of the way through the Jegs 100. Second, third, and fourth now running nose to tail. Dominique Van Wieringen leads Anderson Bowen and Tristan Van Wieringen. Both Van Wieringen siblings have been in the top 5 all afternoon. Both Dominique and Tristan have both seen themselves in the runner-up spot. "61 laps in the books that time by, 39 laps to go." Back in the field, Robbie Johnson has worked his way into the 9th spot, the number 21. Johnson went 2 laps down earlier today due to a flat tire, had to pit under green, lost those 2 laps, worked through the field, picked up 2 free passes, and now the Birch Run, Michigan driver aboard that bus stop in Ford is now in the 9th spot, the number 21. This time by will be 63 laps completed, 37 laps to go as John Hunter Nemechek crosses the stripe one more time. Dominique Van Wieringen trying to keep pace, losing a little bit of ground, 1.3 seconds back of Nemechek. Van Wieringen's got a mirror full of Anderson Bowen, the number 29. Your Boyd Machine Company fast qualifier trying to figure out a way around the number 5 of Van Wieringen. Battle back in the field. That is for the 5th spot. The 33 of Jeff Cannon to the inside of Justin South. Cannon, the Counts Indiana driver, will complete the pass. Cannon now in the top 5. But all the while, it is still John Hunter Nemechek keeping a safe piece of real estate between him and 2nd place Dominique Van Wieringen. As your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place cars go careening through turns 1 and 2 as they continue to battle for 2nd through 4th, trying to keep pace with the number 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. Lindsey Katz in the number 104 machine, about to go a lap down to John Hunter Nemechek. Not good news for Garrett Jones as now Lindsey Katz is the first car 1 lap down. Should a caution arise? This time by the complete lap number 67. John Hunter Nemechek continuing to lead slowly but surely, getting away from Dominique Van Wieringen. Lead now a 2.5 seconds over the Canadian driver. Anderson Bowen has not figured out a way around Van Wieringen as of yet. Time slowly running out for your Boyd Machine Company fast qualifier. Back in the field, going all the way back to the 7th position. A dogfight. Jack Smith in the 28 is 7th. David McManus in the 7th. The 21, Robbie Johnson has joined that battle. McManus and Smith have been duking it out all afternoon. Now Robbie Johnson joins that battle. "69 laps completed that time by for John Hunter Nemechek. 31 laps remaining. Dominique Van Wieringen doing all she can to hold off the 29 of Anderson Bowen, as Tristan Van Wieringen right there as well in the 81 machine. Bowen looking high, he's looking low, trying to figure out a way around the 18-year-old from Canada. Bowen looks to the inside as they'll come out of turn number 4. Van Wieringen closes the door coming out of 4. Bowen is right there on Van Wieringen. Laps continue to click off. They'll complete lap 71 this time by as John Hunter Nemechek continues to show the way, steadily increasing that lead as the laps continue to click off. His lead now 1 3/4 seconds over Dominique Van Wieringen. Anderson Bowen is slowly running out of time in hopes of catching Nemechek. The 28 of Jake Finney pulls off the racetrack. Tough break for the Sycamore, Illinois driver who had a top 10 run going. Finney comes down pit road, and then number 28. Aboard that Finney's electric Chevrolet. All the while, up front, John Hunter Nemechek continuing to lead, continually increasing that lead over Dominique Van Wieringen and the rest of the field. Nemechek's lead now almost 2 seconds, while the Van Wieringen siblings battle with Anderson Bowen. This time by, they'll complete lap number 74. 74 laps are in the books, 26 laps to go. Jake Finney has returned to the track at the number 28. He is a couple laps off the pace. Getting close to crunch time. This time by, we are 3/4 of the way through the Jags 100. 75 laps completed, 25 laps to go. John Hunter Nemechek showing the way. Dominique Van Wieringen is second. Anderson Bowen third. Tristan Van Wieringen is fourth. Jeff Cannon, the 33, is fifth. Justin South, the 43, is sixth. Go all the way back to Jack Smith in the 128, who's seventh. The 7, David McManus, is eighth. The 21, Robbie Johnson, is ninth. The 04, Phil Bozell, rounding out the top 10. The 67, Todd Schmitz, is 11th. Those are the cars remaining on the lead lap. Lindsey Katz, Garrett Jones, Jake Finney, all a lap off the pace. Tristan Van Wieringen looking to the inside of Anderson Bowen. That is for the third spot. Van Wieringen challenging Bowen for that final podium position. Van Wieringen to the inside, Bowen on the high side. Van Wieringen and Bowen side by side, and your leader, John Hunter Nemechek, says, no problem, boys, continue to battle. This time by, they will complete lap number 78. John Hunter Nemechek took the lead on lap number 10. He has led ever since in that number 8 machine. Anderson Bowen gets back by Tristan Van Wieringen, maintains the third spot. Now he'll look to challenge Dominique Van Wieringen for the second position. Laps continuing to click off for John Hunter Nemechek in the number 8 machine. Puts another lap on the 28 of Jake Finney. As second, third, and fourth continue to run nose to tail, led by the number 5 of Dominique Van Wieringen, the 29 of Anderson Bowen, the 81 of Tristan Van Wieringen. That is second through fourth. Go all the way back to the 33 of Jeff Cannon, who's running in fifth. Back even more to the 43 of Justin South, who is sixth. The 7 of David McManus is seventh. 128 of Jack Smith is eighth. The 21, Robbie Johnson, is ninth. Then you go back to the 04 of Phil Bozell, rounding out the top 10. Dominique Van Wieringen finally gets away from Anderson Bowen just a little bit as Bowen battling with Dominique's younger brother, Tristan Van Wieringen. Here goes Tristan to the inside of Anderson Bowen. Then coming through turns 3 and 4. Bowen with all kinds of momentum though on the high side. Maintains that third position. John Hunter Nemechek continuing to lead the number 8 machine. The laps continue to click off. This time by will be 82 laps completed, 18 laps to go. The 16-year-old from Mooresville, North Carolina, John Hunter Nemechek, showing the way. Dominique Van Wieringen trying to hang on to that second position. Anderson Bowen running in third. Has had to deal with younger brother Tristan Van Wieringen for the last several laps. He's gotten away from the 81 for now. Looking to challenge the number 5 of Dominique Van Wieringen. Bowen now taking a peek to the inside. Thinks better of it. Right back of the back bumper of Van Wieringen. Second, third, and fourth continue to run nose to tail as they go careening through turns 3 and 4, trying to keep pace with the number 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. Nemechek's lead consistently between 1.5 and 1 3/4 seconds. A safe piece of real estate between him and the battle between second through fourth. Nemechek now to deal with the back of the lead pack cars, as well as the 104 of Lindsey Katz, who is down 1 lap already. Tristan Van Wieringen takes a peek to the inside of Anderson Bowen. That is for the third spot. Van Wieringen and Bowen battle for third. Dominique Van Wieringen right in front of Bowen. As they'll go into turns 3 and 4, Van Wieringen with a slight edge. Bowen recoils coming out of turn number 4, using an outside lane. A decision to make with a lap car in front of them. They're looking to make it 3 wide. No, Bowen is wisely lets off. That allows Tristan Van Wieringen to grab the third spot. Dominique Van Wieringen drifts high coming out of turn number 2. Being challenged by younger brother Tristan Van Wieringen. And all the while, John Hunter Nemechek putting some more distance between him and the leaders. Here goes Tristan Van Wieringen to the inside. The younger of the Van Wieringen siblings battling side by side with the older sister Dominique Van Wieringen. Dominique powers on the high side, retakes the second spot at number 5. Laps continuing to click off, this time by 88 laps completed, 12 laps to go. John Hunter Nemechek trying to get away from the Van Wieringen siblings. Tristan looking to the inside. for second. Older sister Dominique occupies that runner-up spot. Anderson Bowen right there in the 4th spot in the number 29. As the laps continue to click off, 89 in, 11 to go. Tristan Van Wieringen again goes to the inside in the turns 1 and 2. Dominique Van Wieringen trying to hold off younger brother Tristan Van Wieringen in the 81 machine as they go through turns 3 and 4. This time by your race leader, John Hunter Nemechek. We'll see 2 high fives, 10 laps to go. 10 laps to go for the 16-year-old from Mooresville, North Carolina, John Hunter Nemechek. Both Van Wieringen safely get by the 0-4 of Phil Bozell. Anderson Bowen also trying to get by Bozell. If the Van Wieringens have anything left for John Hunter Nemechek, they have got to show it now. 9 laps to go. Dominique and Tristan hooked together, running nose to tail as they'll make their way down the backstretch, trying to catch the number 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. Tristan again to the inside of older sister Dominique Van Wieringen. They're side by side at turns 1 and 2. Dominique on the high side, Tristan on the inside. Sibling rivalry coming on a turn number 2. Dominique trying to hold off younger brother Tristan Van Wieringen. John Hunter Nemechek looks in his rear view mirror, says, "You two go ahead and battle. I am taking off." Nemechek pulling away the number 8. Tristan Van Wieringen in a dogfight with older sister Dominique Van Wieringen as they battle for 2nd and 3rd. Dominique, the older sister, trying to hold off the younger brother with 6 laps to go. Go back to Anderson Bowen, who has lost sight of the Van Wieringens. He is in 4th. Go back to Jeff Cannon, the 33, who is in 5th. Justin South is 6th in the 43. David McManus 7th in the 7. Jack Smith 8th in the 128. The 21 of Robbie Johnson is 9th. This time by 5 laps to go. 5 laps to go for John Hunter Nemechek in the number 8 machine. The Van Wieringen, Mother Tristan, as they go into turns 1 and 2. In the meantime, John Hunter Nemechek still your leader by a 2.25 seconds over the Van Wieringen siblings. This time by John Hunter Nemechek. We'll see the white flag from Chief Starter Brian Duncan. 1 lap to go for John Hunter Nemechek. Tristan Van Wieringen not giving up. Again to the inside lane. Battling with the older sister Dominique Van Wieringen for that 2nd spot. They are not giving up. Dominique with the momentum on the high side. But going into turn number 3, he'll come on a turn number 4. He was the winner of Speedfest 2014 in January down in Cordell, Georgia. He'll win the Jegs 100 here at the Milwaukee Mile. John Hunter Nemechek. 2nd, barely going to Dominique Van Wieringen. Tristan Van Wieringen will finish in 3rd. Anderson Bowen comes home in 4th. Jeff Cannon will finish in 5th. Justin South in the 43 car will finish in 6th. The 7, David McManus is 7th. Jack Smith will finish 8th in the 128. And Robbie Johnson off the pace, but still will come home in 9th in the number 21. The 04 Phil Bozell rounding out the top 10. Race fans, he's coming down the front stretch. He will win the Jegs 100 for the Jegs CRA All-Stars Tour, presented by Chevrolet Performance. And a few more donuts there in the front stretch here in the Milwaukee Mile.